One time, some years ago, I was giving some teachings in Brazil about the Bodhisattva Charyavatara, the 6th chapter on patience. And then at a certain point, one person came and a little bit nervous. Said, "Oh, but I have been practicing this and maybe I have been listening to these teachings for more than 20 years, It's beautiful, everything, but when anger comes, it simply comes. It's useless to say, no, we should not be angry because of this and because of that. Very beautiful, all these teachings. But truly, when anger comes, it comes. There is nothing to do about it. Like in a way saying, look, the teachings truly doesn't work. And what I said at the time, and I still believe in it, it is that somehow it's true. Just understanding is not enough. And the teachings were not given intended just there to be understanding. The teachings were given with the intention for us first to listen, then to comprehend, and then to meditate. Because we do not function based on understanding, we function based on experience. So, it's not enough to understand that I don't need to get angry. I need to have experiences of patience. I need to induce myself into the experiences of patience in front of the object of anger, so that gradually I'm able to develop more and more patience. But the process that we have is first we need to listen, which is understand what someone is explaining us by listening, by reading. Then we need to comprehend. Comprehension is when there is no any more doubt whatsoever about that subject. It's not something that I am repeating because someone else told me. It's something that I have based on my own understanding and based on my own experience. And then the third step is I need to meditate on it. I need to familiarize myself with it until it becomes natural and spontaneous. That's what we call the Tösam Gomsum. Listening, comprehending, and meditating. So meditation, it's very, very important part of the path. But for whatever reason, nowadays, we have this very strong idea that once we understood, that's enough. And we love reading books, we love going to lessons and receiving more and more information and getting more and more information, which is good in a way. But it's just the first step. Listening is the most easy part, gaining information. Comprehending is a bit more difficult. It takes a bit more of time and effort. And meditating takes much more time and effort. But it's only through meditation, it's only through familiarizing ourselves with that state of consciousness. And it's not to meditate on the concept, it's to meditate on the state of mind that we want to develop. That's why, as we said yesterday, meditation is when we induce ourselves into a certain state of consciousness in order for that state of consciousness to become natural and spontaneous. So if I need to meditate on love, first I understand the importance of love and so on. Then I comprehend that. Then I need to induce myself into the feeling of love so that I can familiarize myself with it more and more, so it can come more easily in a spontaneous way. Okay. So, when we talk about patience, generosity, compassion, and so on, understanding is good, but it's truly not enough. We must meditate. And I don't know why, very often we just want to have information, no? Somehow, sometimes I think it's like, because to listen is easy, it does not depend on our own effort necessarily. To meditate, it depends on us, no? So it's a bit more difficult. But anyhow, the point that I want to bring here is that, as we said yesterday, why to meditate? Basically, making it short and simple. Our mind is the most powerful resource that we have. It's the mind that can create harmony. It's the mind through which we can have build up beautiful relationships. It's through the minds that we can make incredible things. And in the material world or whatever, it's through the minds that we can, at the same time, take care of our health or anything. and get enlightened also. It's through the mind. On the other side, it's through the mind that we can destroy relationships. It's through the mind that we can destroy relations in the community. It's through the mind that we can make wars. It's through the mind that we can make everything, destroy our health even. It's like, I was one time I had a long discussion one time with a doctor in Brazil. He's a psychiatrist. He's a friend. And after this discussion, went into a book. And the discussion was basically based on the fact, which was, who is the one commanding? Who is the one that is in power? The mind or the body? Because the point comes, is the mind influenced by the chemicals in the body or not? Yes. Okay. Depending on the hormones, the mind is influenced. It's very clear that. Okay. Depending on everything, depending on how is the kidney, how is the liver, whatever, all the hormones and all the chemicals of the body influences the mind. There is no doubt about that. But does the mind influences the body or not? Sure, no doubt about that. Depending if we have anxiety, if we have fear, depending if whatever state of mind we are, this is having a very strong influence in the body also. So the question is, who comes first? No? Who is the one that really has the control? Who is the one really in power? So we got to the conclusion, because in the beginning he was more about is the body, and I was saying is the mind. Then as we went on discussing and so on, we got to the conclusion which is saying both are very, very important, but finally is the mind. Why? One of the reasons is because we can see that when a person has a very difficult mental illness or whatever, a very unstable mental state, this person can take medicines, can induce the body to a certain chemical state, and this will influence the mind. Okay? And the mind can be suddenly happy, satisfied, looks like everything is okay. But the point is that if the person on that process doesn't make a psychological process of changing one's own behavior and attitude and understanding things differently, if the mind is not changed, that same state of mind will come back again and again. And very often you need higher doses of medicine to bring that chemical state stronger and stronger. Instead, if the mind is changed, then naturally the body will change also. So finally, there is no such a thing as a pill of happiness. There is not such a thing as making a perfect chemical balance in the body for the mind to be completely happy. It doesn't exist in this way. Even though many people tried. Maybe many still believe in it, but I do not. On the other side, if the mind is stable and satisfied and so on, it will naturally create a very good chemical aspect in the body also, Even the strength of the body, everything is connected to the mind also. So making it short, the mind is the biggest resource that we have in our lives. The most powerful one. So, we need to take care of it. And for whatever reason nowadays, who is taking care much of the mind? We take care of our diet, we take care of making exercises, we take care of our material situations, we take care of knowledge, but it's not only a matter of knowledge, it's a matter of our emotional states and our mind as a whole. And we don't do that so much. So to meditate, it's actually to exercise the mind on what we want to become. To meditate, it's a way of exercising the mind, of taking care of our mind as the most precious resource that we have. And I think this is something very valuable, very important for us to do. So, it's not something that we are disconnected, that we cannot take care. We can take care of our mind. And one of the ways of doing that it's actually true meditation. There are other ways also, but one of the most powerful ways is actually true meditation. So here again, one of the reasons why to meditate. Then on that, in the same way like when we do a physical exercise, if for example I want to have more strong arms, I can do exercise for the arms. If I want to develop one specific aspect of the mind, I can do specific exercises for that part of the mind. So this will depend on what is the object of meditation and so on. But the first step of meditation is to bring our mind to a state of calm and peace and to focus the mind into one object, but to be able to control one's own mind. That's the first step that we need to do. Once we are able to do that, then we can meditate on almost infinite things. It is said that there are as many objects of meditation as many phenomena exist in the world. Everything can be an object of meditation. So sure, we need to choose in the correct way. But first we need to have the ability to meditate. Then we can change the object of meditation. And normally in all the texts which are explaining how to meditate and so on, especially when we go in the sadhanas and the explanation about the sadhanas and the yidams and so on, the techniques of meditation and recitation, it's the practice of meditation is divided into two parts, the practice. How to practice during the meditation session and how to practice between the meditation sessions. And the final objective, if not the final one of the important level where we want to reach, one of the goals is what is called Nyamje Nyampa, which means to have equanimity between the meditative state and the post-meditative state. Which means when we are meditating, we have a certain state of mind, and when we are not meditating, we have a very similar state of mind. And this is very much possible. So one of the positive effects of meditating is that after, the more we meditate, the more stable mind we will have also when we are doing other things. If I am reading, if I am writing, if I'm talking, if I'm listening, if I'm walking, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it will bring me the ability to be more present in what I'm doing, and to have more awareness and to have the mind more peaceful also, outside of the meditative state also. So we will talk a little bit about this later today. Okay? So we will do now today the meditation that we did yesterday. I was just explaining some other things again that we already explained yesterday because I see many new people here today that were not here yesterday, but I think the English speakers already were here yesterday. So I don't need now to go back and re-explain it again. But it's just the explanation of the posture of meditation and the importance to keep our mind centered, to relax the mind within the object of meditation, which we will start with our breath. One thing which I didn't explain yesterday, when we focus on our breath, we can focus the attention or simply on our nostrils, the air coming in and out from our nostrils, or we can focus on the actual flow of the breath, going in and out also. Okay? So, we will do now the meditation. So for that, let's sit in a comfortable position, just as we did yesterday. As I will also play the bell, as I did yesterday, giving the help of the sound of the bell to bring the attention to the present moment within ourselves, okay? As the sound of the bell gets less and less loud, weaker and weaker, we imagine that our attention goes more and more within ourselves as we follow our own breath, okay? So we sit in a comfortable position. Our shoulders are relaxed. Our mouth is relaxed. Our eyes are slightly closed, looking downwards. We are aware of our own breath. We deeply relax in the present moment as we observe the air that goes in and the air that goes out. whatever other thoughts may come to our mind, we don't give importance to it, without grasping at it, without judging or justifying. We simply bring back our attention to the air that goes in and the air that goes out. keep the awareness of our breath. And slowly we open our eyes and we move our hand. So, as we did the meditation, one important thing that we need to remember is that the results comes out of constancy. So it is very important for us to meditate with some frequency, not only like once in a while. If we meditate once a week, it's nice, but it's not going to make that big difference. It's very important for us to do it with some frequency, like every day, possibly in the morning. I think if we can actually sit down to meditate as we wake up in the morning, before we do anything else, we just sit down, do some meditation. We can do other practices also, but at least we develop gratitude for what we have, and we generate the motivation for the day. And before that, we do some silent meditation. That's the minimum, I suppose. And this is already helping a lot. And then after that, we can, during the day, in between lunchtime or in the evening or in between a meeting or another or whatever, we just sit down wherever we are, just breathe in and out. And we can do other things like Guru Yoga and so on, but we start with just some breathing meditation. And then this will help us gradually to create a habit of meditating in this way and to bring our mind to a more stable state. And this is also helping because we need to remember that it's like training. Like if I want to run a marathon, it's not enough for me to run 5 kilometers every week. Once a week. I need to do at least every day. Then as I do it every day, slowly I can do more. But if I do once a week, then it's become difficult. So that's why also the meditation is the same way. It's an exercise. So even if we wake up in the morning and we say, I don't want to meditate today, then what shall we do? We shall meditate. Because what happens is that when we have a commitment and we break the commitment, if we don't do it for one day, then we end up not doing it maybe for 3 months. Because when we break a commitment, then we need to regenerate the commitment again from zero. So instead, even if we don't do so well the meditation, we wake up one day and say, I don't want to meditate today. Okay, but let's do it. Come on. And then I do it maybe halfway, not really well. It's better than not doing it. Then maybe the next day I do better. But if I see that it's many days that I don't do nicely, then I need to change something. This means something is not really okay. Okay? But this is something that is important, no? And one interesting thing about meditation is actually there is not so much to say about it. There is much more to do than to talk. Okay? It's a matter of training, it's a matter of doing it. Then there are many techniques of meditation. Now we will talk about another one. Okay? So one of the other exercises that help also when we do our breathing meditation is to breathe together with our counting. Because when we are sitting to meditate, without counting, it's more difficult to check when the mind goes away from the object of meditation. Okay? So one technique that exists also is that of counting the breath. Inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2, and possibly normally we do in sets of 7, 14, 21. But in the meantime, while we are inhaling, exhaling, and counting, if our mind goes to something else, what I'm going to have for lunch today, whatever, then we start again from zero. Okay? Most probably for the first times, we will not be able to go beyond 5. Okay? This is normal, nothing to worry about it. That's normal. Then slowly we get more and more into it. Okay? But it's very useful. Another thing which is useful also to help in our meditation, but which we should do mainly when we are not meditating, is let's say we are reading something, we are talking to a person, whatever, And suddenly we see that our mind went to something that has nothing to do with what we were doing. Then we do the way backwards. Why I had this thought? Oh, because I was thinking this, that taught me to that, that brought me to that, that brought me to that, and then we go back to where we were. To do this, it helps us to have more awareness, to be more mindful. So this is also helping, okay? It's another type of exercise that can help us. Now, one other type of meditation on breathing that is very nice, which was explained in Papunka Rinpoche's text on the preliminaries. So the next technique, which was explained in one text by Papunka Rinpoche, I would give a little bit more details on what Papunka Rinpoche said, but go a little bit in more details, which is, first, we will, as we inhale, we will take the tensions accumulated in our body. So we focus on the tensions which are maybe in our shoulders, in our chest, in our stomach, in our head, in our arms, legs, wherever we feel tension. When we inhale, it's like if we go to grab that tensions. And then when we exhale, we throw the tensions away. We let the tensions go away as if it was just like smoke dissolving into space. Okay? Then we start this with the body, taking the tensions that were accumulated today, yesterday, last week, last month, last year, since many years, whatever tensions we have accumulated, we put them away as we breathe. Second step, we take the tensions accumulated in our mind. So when we inhale, we grab the tensions of the mind, such as fears, attachment, anxiety, hatred, whatever tension we have accumulated in the mind. When we inhale, we take the tension. When we exhale, we let it go away. Then the next step, which is precisely the one Papunka Rinpoche explained, he says, when we inhale, we take in light and nectar of the blessings of all the Buddhas that fills our body and revitalizes our qualities such as love and compassion and wisdom and peace and so on. And when we exhale, we put away all the negativities such as anger and jealousy and pride and miserliness or whatever. Okay? So we start by focusing on the tensions, and after we do this exchange of taking in the light and putting away the darkness. Okay? So we'll do that together now. Also because, talking a lot, sometimes is good, but as one of my masters, Lumpo Tata, which he came here some years ago, this master from Thailand, Theravada, and he said to me one time, he said, his own guru, which was a woman, she used to say to him or to other people, she said, look, I can explain many things, but when I talk, most of the people after some time, anyhow, you will forget what I'm saying. So instead of talking, better to have an experience. So let's meditate together. So whenever someone would come there to talk to her, she would talk a little bit, and after some time she would say, now sit and meditate, we meditate together. And she said this had a stronger impact than just talking. So now we have just explained this meditation, so now let's just take 10 minutes and do it together. Okay? So we'll do now this meditation divided into 4 steps. First part, we will make some meditation on our breath, counting the breath. Second, we will eliminate the tensions of the body, focus on eliminating tensions of the body. Third, focus on eliminating tensions of the mind. Fourth, we inhale light and nectar, exhale the negativities. Okay? So let's just sit in a comfortable position. We are aware of our own breath. As I will play the bell, after the sound of the bell, then slowly we start to count our own breath. bringing our attention to the present moment. inhale, we collect now the tensions accumulated in our body without judging, without explaining. We simply take the tensions without connecting it to anything specific, and we let it go away, we throw the tensions away as we exhale. Now, we eliminate tensions accumulated in our mind. As we inhale, we grab at the tensions of the mind, such as anxiety, fears, dissatisfaction, hatred, and so on. Whatever tension created in the mind, once again without judging or justifying or blaming, without naming it, we just take the tension and we let it go away as we exhale. So now, as we inhale light and nectar, bringing us all the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, of all the holy beings, revitalizing our qualities such as love, compassion, wisdom, peace. And as we exhale dirt and smoke, putting away all the negativities of body and mind. As we eliminate completely the negativities of body and mind and revitalize our qualities, gradually we reach a state of well-being and peace, which becomes our object of meditation and on which we will focus our attention and remain in this deep state of peace and well-being for as much time as we can. We deeply relax in the present moment, in a deep state of joy and peace. as we keep the awareness of this inner state of peace, with the intention to manifest it through our actions and our words, we gradually open our eyes and move our hands. Okay. One of the meditations in order to eliminate our defilements, to develop the antidotes, is the meditation, for example, on patience. So how do we do a meditation on patience? Basically what we do is that first we sit down, we concentrate our mind in the present moment by counting or by simply following our breath and so on. Once we have done that, then we need to follow a process of analytical meditation. No? As Milarepa said, to meditate without having first listened and comprehended is just like climbing a rock with the hands closed. It's not possible to grab anywhere, because in order to meditate on something, first we need to enter in contact with that something so that we can meditate on it. So first we need to understand, for example, why it's important not to react with anger, how much anger is harmful to ourselves, like we have in the 6th chapter of the Bodhisattva Charyavatara. Okay? And we go through it until we get to the conclusion there is no reason in the world for me to be angry. How do we apply this to our life? How do we make it happen? Once I sit down, I meditate, a little bit on our breath, bring the attention to the present moment, then do the analytical meditation. Just as if we were explaining to someone else why there is no reason for him to get angry. And then we would go through all the reasonings. Oh, because, the other person did this and that out of his own ignorance, because actually all he wants is to be happy just as you, and everyone acting out of their own ignorance because everything is interdependent, so we bring a little bit of humbleness, and then after we can go to explain, look, through anger you will get no benefit at all, you will just harm more yourself, etc., etc., etc. Okay, we go through the whole process of understanding why we should not react with anger. Once we have done that, then we keep the analytical mind aside. And then we invite an object of anger. We visualize a situation that would make us angry. A person, a situation, whatever. And then we let the anger appear. Slowly it comes up. It's not coming like an instant. It's building up, this feeling of anger. So when we feel that anger starts to arise, then we take that mind of analytical meditation out and we say, okay, what am I doing? And we apply that to ourselves. That's what we were somehow convincing someone else. Now we come to convince ourselves. And we say, what am I doing? Why am I reacting like this? There is no reason to react with aggression. No? Because it's bringing no benefit. The other one is just doing that out of his own ignorance, and so on. So we do the whole process until we change our own attitude and we are able not to react with aggression in front of the object of anger, which is patience. And we go from developing a neutral feeling of known aggressiveness, known aggression. Then slowly from that we can go to being empathy and to develop compassion towards the other. Okay? So depending on what's the antidote that we are able to apply at that moment, we stay in meditation on that antidote. If we try to meditate on patience without first generating the anger, without first waking up the anger, we would just meditate on the concept of patience. Instead, we need to induce ourselves to the actual state of patience, and patience means not to react with aggression in front of an object of anger. So I need first to be in front of an object of anger, let that feeling come, and then I apply patience. Okay? The same thing is with jealousy, with fear, with attachment, and ignorance, and so on. Okay? This makes a big difference because our mind do not function based on understanding, but based on experience. And for our brain, even scientifically speaking, it says that what we visualize, what we imagine, and what we physically experience is not that much difference for the mind. So when we visualize that we are in a certain situation and we internally, into our own visualization, we are able to react differently, this will help us that when the next time we are in front of the similar situation, we will have the memory of the experience of reacting in a different way, and then we will react more peacefully or whatever other way. So, which means, once we understood, the more we familiarize ourselves with that positive reaction, the easier it will come naturally when we are in front of the actual physical situation. Okay? So that's why it's like, once we understood, we need to meditate on it. And how do you meditate on generosity or patience or humility and so on? By inducing ourselves to that emotions, to that feeling, and not just by thinking on the meaning of that states of mind. And especially when we need to apply something that is an antidote, we must apply the antidote there where the poison lies. That's why we need to generate the anger. And most probably for us beginners, I hope everybody will try to do this meditation, but most probably in the first times you do the meditation, you will end the meditation with some anger there. Something remaining, okay? Don't worry. That's part of the game, okay? You do like this, and the next time it will be a little bit better. And this means you need to do better analysis and better analytical meditation. Then slowly, as you go, then until you're able really to have a different attitude in front of the object of anger. When you're really able to generate patience, then we got it. Then just need to familiarize oneself with that more and more, meditate on it, and then this will make a real change in our daily life afterwards. Okay? There is some other types of meditation which regards also visualization, in which we induce ourselves to certain states of consciousness simply by generating certain visualizations without needing to understand what we are doing, but by the visualization it helps that. That's what we will do in the afternoon. Okay? Just to say that this meditation technique that we have just explained, it's important to practice it. But we should not start right away by needing to do everything. And now I need to change all my mental defilements. We start with one. We choose where is the place where it's more fragile. I am having too much anger, or I am too much pride, or anxiety, or miserliness, whatever. We choose one and we start applying the antidote by listening, comprehending, and meditating upon it. Okay? Jetsun lame kutse rapten chi namkar tinle cholchur gepadang losan tempe drume sasumgi drowe munse tatu ne gyurchi nimo dele tsendele nime kuyan dele kshin Nintsen takto delepe koncho sumke jingelo koncho sumke ngodrup sol koncho sumke trashishu. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.